Alright guys, what I'm doing here today is the big 3 upgrade on my Lexus LS 400. You see I got the zero gauge wire. I crimped that myself, soldered it. It's an alright job, but it'll work. I got my inline fuse, 300 amp fuse right here. You gotta have that. I got my alternator off. It was a bitch. It was a bitch to do. As you can see, here's my old, I think this is I think that's about 4 gauge. You can see how thin that wire is in comparison to this the 0 gauge wire. I crimped that. Well, I didn't do that one. This is the power right here coming from my alternator. I'm gonna show you guys that real quick. And this is the old ground wire. This is the old and that's the new. What I'm gonna use, this is 0 gauge ground. And that's the old I think that's a 4 gauge. If you can see how thin that is. I'm gonna ground it. I'm gonna ground it here to the top of the shock mount, which is connected to the chassis. It's an excellent ground right here. I'm gonna get that cleaned up. Excellent ground. If you come up under, show you guys up under here, which is what I've already done. I put a new alternator in, 220 amp alternator versus my 100 amp that I took out. You can see my fire. I got my fire running right here all the way up to my, it's going to my battery. And then let me show you my ground to the engine block. Ground to the engine block. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can see that or not. This that right there is the engine block ground. Right here, running it up to the ground on the battery. You can see that. I got that done. And that's not quite finished yet, but let me get back to it and I'll get back with you guys on the big 3 upgrade to a Lexus LS 400.